Hey guys, what are the 12 urgent but often subtle warning signs she might cheat on you soon, perhaps even with a friend? Well, sometimes you see it coming a mile away and you just don't know what to do about it, or you're just not quite sure even though the signs are there, or you think the signs are there. And other times it just totally comes out of left field and knocks you right off balance because you just didn't see it coming. But have you experienced this? She's hiding her texts from you when she wasn't before. She's acting kind of weird, but you can't really put your finger on why. She doesn't really tell you why, or makes excuses. Or did she get a new haircut? Is that a sign? How about this one? Maybe she talks about Chad, or Tyrone, a little bit too much. Her new friend at work. Are these actually signs that she's going to cheat on you soon? Let's look at the subtle but urgent warning signs she'll cheat on you soon, or at least wants to. If you're new to my channel, my name is Anna Jorgensen. Welcome to Just a Tip Tuesday. But first, let's look at healthy and unhealthy male-female relationships and whether or not they can actually be safe. Now, what do you think? Do you think men and women can really be friends without anything going on, if you know what I mean? Let me know in the comments below. So the reason why it's so important to look at male-female friendships is because it's often the best friend or the friend at work who the person cheats with. So just to be clear, these warning signs that she'll cheat on you soon aren't a guarantee that she'll cheat on you soon. But the more of these signs she is exhibiting, then the more likely she's moving in that direction and or is already thinking about it at the least. The more signs she has, the more likely she's going there doing something with someone else. So you want to pay attention to the motives behind these changed behaviors. And that's a key point. If these behaviors have always been there, then it might just be her character. It might be her value system. But if these behaviors in particular have come about, yes, Canadian here. If she's started to express them more recently, then there's a higher likelihood she's thinking about cheating or maybe already on the road to cheating. So what's really happening in her mind is she's consciously or subconsciously preparing herself to attract someone else by comparing that someone else, or perhaps more than one someone else, to your qualities. In other words, she is comparing you to your real or perceived competition. Okay, let's get into it. If she's 1, lost weight or started working out. 2, done something different with her hair. 3, paying more attention to her style and or dressing sexier when she goes out, not for you. 4, started wearing perfume when she goes out. 5, going out with her girlfriends more in the evenings. There's a lot more girls' nights out. 6, evasive when you ask her about her whereabouts. So she changes the subject or tries not to answer or doesn't really actually answer you. 7, hiding her texts and or has added a password to her phone that you otherwise were able to get into her phone, but now you can't. 8, along the same lines, she receives a suspicious amount of wrong numbers late at night. 9, as mentioned before, if she's mentioning Chad or Tyrone or Amir a little too frequently. Next, if she's less physically affectionate with you, whether it's sexual or non-sexual. Next one, this is a big one. She's nagging you about new things that bother her about you. She's comparing. Or, here's a tricky one, she's no longer nagging you about the things that usually bother her about you. In other words, in her mind, in the first instance, if she's nagging you about new things, it's things that she doesn't think this other guy is doing or has, or flaws he's got. But if she's no longer nagging you about the things that bothered her before, it's because she's starting to mentally move on, and it's not going to bother her for long because she's not planning on being there to deal with it. Or, bonus tip, she's treating you with more and more contempt for no real reason. And part of that is because she feels guilty. In her own mind, psychologically, she's probably not even aware she's doing this. She's building you up to be the villain so that when she cheats or leaves you, she doesn't have to feel as guilty about that choice. Yeah, I know. It's nasty, super nasty. Ladies, if you're watching this, don't be a see you next Tuesday. Do the right thing. Discuss it or try to figure it out. Do not cheat. If you can't stay with your partner, leave first. Don't cheat. Okay, so you want to make sure that in the future, if this isn't already happening, that you're watching for the red flags in her male relationships. So let's go through some of these red flags in her male relationships and let me know in the comments if you've experienced any of these. 1, the two of them go for dinner in public or alone at his place, her place. Well, wouldn't happen if you're there, of course, but if you're there, then she's not alone with him. Red flag. 2, the two of them hang out together alone in private. 3, you're never invited or allowed to join in. 4, if he has a partner, his partner's never allowed to join or show up. 5, she forgets to tell you when they meet up and you find out from other people or in other ways, maybe through social media. Maybe you managed to hack her phone and get in there and find some text messages. 6, and this one you might not be able to find out if this is actually happening, but there might be subtle signs that this is happening where she only talks about your and her problems with this other guy or whoever it is that she's chatting with, instead of talking about your good traits. She's leaning on him like an emotional tampon, and he's there waiting in the wings for his chance to swoop in. If you're a guy, don't be the swooper. If you're a girl, don't be the swooper. Don't be a swooper. 7, she hides his texts from you or deletes them. 8, she texts him late at night, even if it's just innocent. 9, her texts and or interactions with him are flirty. But when you bring it up to her, she just accuses you of being paranoid and insecure and saying, she's just friendly, bubbly. I'm like that with all the boys. Red flag. 10, she'd rather spend time with him than with you. Sometimes she cancels plans with you to spend time with him, still acting like it's no big deal or making excuses for it. I know, right? Like, who wants to baby shake her? I do. That's not politically correct. I hope that doesn't get flagged because we're just joking. That's part of the comedy section of this video. Censors. All right, let's look at the green flags. And I've mentioned the green flags in another video, which I'll link at the end. So just so you're not like overly paranoid, just in case. Green flags for male-female relationships are, and I include all of these must apply. The two of them have coffee or lunch in a public place. 2, he's never indicated a romantic interest in her or vice versa. 3, you're welcome to join them anytime, you often have, and you've never felt there's any weird awkwardness when you're there. 4, if he's got a partner, sometimes she's shown up, or at least she's always invited and welcome. 5, you know for sure she tells him what a great guy you are and how lucky she is to be with you, which is basically psychological boundary for the other guy. Now, big red flag bonus, even if you are insecure, if your gut feeling is that something is off, something's amiss, you are probably right. Something needs to happen quickly before it gets too far. Because if you don't do something, if you don't change something up, even if she hasn't actually gone there, she might still be on the path to there. So you want to get her off that path to cheating and back on the path to loyalty. Long-term relationships especially will go through a period of time for one or the other that the person might consider cheating. And if you can actually address it and not just be like, oh, well, if she does, that's her thing. No, you need to be more proactive in a relationship. You need to actually work through some stuff to help prevent her from cheating if her natural tendency isn't a cheater, if that makes sense. Subscribe, click the bell, and click all notifications. Thanks for being here. Big hug, and God bless.